Good morning, welcome back to my channel. I think I'm the person of a lot of takes because this is going to be my second take on making this video. Um, I created a card, which is this one, using products by Crafter's Companion, which included the dies to cut all these things out and the stamp set. Now, I was going to make a video on this card, but I stopped because the dies and all that I bought on HSN they're no longer available. They might be available on their website, on Crafters Companion's website. It's called the Letters from the Heart collection, but I'm not sure. So I didn't want to make a video on something that you can't get until they bring them back in stock, if they bring them back in stock. So I figured, hey, what can we do to get the same kind of look of the card using our Cricut. I mean, you can use your Silhouette, you can use your Brother Scan and Cut, but I'm going to use the Cricut, and I'm going to use the Cricut Joy because it's small enough to fit on the desk. It stays in the camera, so I can show you the process. Not while we're cutting, because that takes long, excuse me, but at least you get the idea of what's going on here. Now, in this torn looking paper, these were dies. Cricut didn't have exact excuse me, die for this thing, like the same cut, but I found it in a tag. Let me switch to the Cricut. Okay, here we go. See, I found it in a tag, so I went to images, and here I typed in paper tag, and this is the one that popped up. So I brought that over to the canvas. Come on. It had a hole in it, but if you see down here, this contour button, if you select the contour button, you can actually remove that. So now, when you go back, you no longer have it. There's no longer a hole. So, of course, I resized it to the size that I wanted. And then I made a second layer because I wanted it to have 2 layers, just as my card did. The second thing we needed to find was a typewriter. Now, let's go back to our screen. Now, this typewriter is very intricate. It has a lot of different cuts. I couldn't find that on the Cricut site, and I didn't want to go source it outside because I wanted to use what's available to you. So I went on Design Space again, typed in typewriter, okay, for some reason sometimes it becomes finicky. And here we go with the typewriters. Okay. Yes, there's a lot of different typewriters, but the one I felt would cut best for what I needed was that one. Now you can see that it's different, and that's because I edited it just a little bit, which I removed the words and I removed this back layer. Now this design came with this little border. Normally with the designs you could go into contour and you can remove it, but in this case you couldn't. So I just grabbed the shape, which is a square, lined it up to what I wanted to remove, I selected it and I sliced it. That left me with the piece I wanted. Now, the rest was just sizing it and then adding another torn piece of paper to the back of this one. And of course I attached just a little piece of paper to the bottom so it could cover the keys once it's cut out. Alrighty. You want to know how to do that? Let's just duplicate this. And I just chose a shape that fit. Let's just use that just for the sake of demonstration. Why are you not working? There we go. So let's say that's where you wanted it. You would select it and weld. And that'll give you the full piece. That's how I did that. Okay. Now, let's send it to make. We're going to use it on the mat. Now, if I'm going to be honest here, my mat is in really poor condition. It's not sticking well. So I'm going to be using a removable tape by Scotch. And it works well for me. So I'm going to continue to use that one. Sorry, I'm just cutting the paper to fit. Let's size this down so we could see both screens. Okay, sorry about that. I'm overlapping, which you shouldn't do, but I need to make sure that I can get the tape to grab. At least until my mat gets here. It's not here yet. But I didn't want that to stop me today. Continue. Browse material. We're going to use 80-pound cardstock. This is a light paper, so I'm just going to leave it just like that. And let's cut our first layer. This is a good option if there's a design that you want to do once or twice, but it's not something that you want to commit to buying a whole collection. This is a great way to get the same look and not have to spend the money that it costs to get those collections. So now if it's something you love and you're going to use again, by all means. But it's good to have options, and if we invest in these machines, then we should use them because, you know, hey, they cost a pretty penny. Okay, the pink paper is actually going to be my brown. So let's try to stick that as much as we can. Again, we're going to use the tape. Yes, it's a waste of tape right now, but my mat does not work. And if it slips and slides, you'll know why. It's my mat, it's not the machine. We have to select the paper again, browse all, 80-pound, done. Now, I suggest that no one ever puts their fingers the way I'm doing it right now. But I'm doing it because my mat is a mess. And I have plenty of years of experience with the Cricut. I know how close I can get, but don't do it. You can get yourself hurt. That's don't do as I do. So you see, this is what happens when you don't have a good mat. It moves so it doesn't cut all the way. Luckily it squirted a little bit so I could just follow I could just follow the line with it with a scissor. And this is not something I'm going to make an actual card for. It's just for a demonstration, so I'm okay with it. Alright, let's just leave it like that. Okay, next color. This is as real as you can get. This is a pearlescent color paper. Let's just add some tape there. Okay. Again, we have to select our paper. This one is not like the maker. The maker, most of the time, I mean, you select the paper once and you didn't have to do it over and over again. Because of the material, it's more like plasticky, I'm going to select a little bit more pressure just to make sure that it cuts all the way through. So let's get that cut. Okay. Let's unload the nut. And for the typewriter, I'm going to actually pause because it's going to take a while, and I'll come back when it's almost done cutting. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so we're done cutting the typewriter, which was a good thing I paused because it took 2 runs to get it cut out. I used a very thick glitter paper by Cricut. So, why did it not? Oh, there we go. So, let's take the typewriter out. Let's punch out those pieces. I think we can get rid of this right now. Let's get a pokey tool. There we go. So again, I mean, this is, if you already purchased one of these machines, you might as well get the most you can out of it. Now, if you want to add texture, you can run this through an embossing folder, and at least the bottom part of it. So you could just, I guess, make it a little more fancy because this one has so much detail and this one doesn't, but for this demonstration, we're not going to do that. Okay, so we have our paper that we're going to glue to the back of this one. We're just going to add a little bit of tape. So line it up where you want it. And then just press it down. Now, in the original, I inked the edges a little bit. You could come back and ink these edges as well. But that's what we have so far. Just cut this and move it to the side. You can get the same look without having one of those kits. You can purchase files separately SVG files, and there's so many different designs that you can use. That you can replicate a lot of the die sets that you would purchase. I love die sets. I love the way they curve. But if I'm just gonna make one card of something, I'm not gonna go ahead and spend all that money for a die set or a stamp set that I'm only gonna use once. That's why you purchase these machines, right? It would make a large investment. But here you go. You could get the same look. Let's bring this down a little bit. Same look using your Cricut and a free design on Design Space. At least free for me. Let me see if it's free for everyone. Well, this is part of the membership, but I'm pretty sure you can purchase it for like 99 cents. Or you can find a free SVG file online. There's a lot of companies that give you samples of things, and I think typewriters would be one that you'll be able to find fairly quickly. If you have a Cricut and you are subscribed to Design Space, then there you go. If it's new Cricut, I believe they give you a temporary membership. Use it. You can, like I said, get the same kind of look with using a machine you already have. I hope this helps. I'm gonna make some more videos using the Cricut. I think it's a great tool to have in your arsenal. So I hope this helps someone, and I hope you like my video. Have a great one.